Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another episode where we talk about financial intelligence, where we talk about financial literacy, and so on and so on. Now, of course, if you have been watching my videos, you know my name is John Moire. I'm a professional accountant with Exfinop Accountancy and Insurance Consultancy, and my work is to come here, do a lot of calculations, give you a lot of information to do with finances, investments, businesses, and so on and so on. And I don't want to take much time because our today's topic is very, very, very much interesting, and it's about owning a house. It's about construction. It's about how we can start doing this as early as possible because of some of the reasons that you need to know, that you are going to put them here on the whiteboard so that you can know, you can get some sense of it. All right. Here I'm talking about construction and actually owning your own house to avoid rentals. And of course, I know this one is not going to be easy because you know owning a house is going to need a lot of money. But of course, you are not going to do it once. It's something that is you are going to do little by little. You are going to dedicate yourself. You are going to put a lot of effort into it and save a lot of money towards that particular project. So it's a long-term project. So we are going to talk about the benefits of that project and how you can be able to raise money towards that particular project. Now, if you're watching this video from YouTube, thank you so much, and make sure you subscribe. And I normally tell you that there are so many reasons to say subscribe in this particular channel because we upload videos every day. Our videos are very rich in information and you can consume them. And of course, and the information is just for free. All right. So I don't see the need of you not subscribing to this particular channel. And if you're watching this from TikTok, you can also give me a follow. And in both social media, wherever you're watching, you can put a comment on the comment section and give me a like. All right. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, owning a house. Have you ever ushaikaa hivi and then you think you wish you could be in your own dream house? You wish you could be, you know, the mansion that you want to build, you want to live in a mansion. You wish you could be living there. Because as much as we live in rentals, trust you me, there is no one wants to live in a rental place. All of us wants to own our houses, to live there freely without giving any money at the end of the month. But again, remember, even those who own mansions and those who have been able to build houses, genuine houses with genuine money, not corruption money, of course, they have taken they took steps and strategies, and it was not easy. It was not easy. They can tell you it was not easy. So we have to come up with strategies so that we can know how we can be able to start this as early as possible because of these reasons that I'm going to give you. Now, that one is everyone's dream, to live in their own houses where they are not paying rent, where they have freedom, where they can do everything. Wanaweza weka ng'ombe, wanyama, you know, you can keep the cow compound how you want, you can beautify your place how you want, and so on and so on. That is everyone's dream. But again, remember, to achieve this particular dream, it's going to need a lot of effort. All right, now let's talk about costs. Costs associated with construction, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know the reason? Now, for me, I would prefer, some people prefer waiting for so many years. For example, let's say someone is 30 years right now. Assuming someone is 30 years right now. The reason why I'm using 30 years, because so many people are going to be kind of financially, but not financially free, but at least having a job or a business that is going to cater for everything at this particular age, at 30 years of age. Because you realize we normally get to university from 17 years to around 20. There is education life. Then in Kenyan economy, you're not going to get a job so fast, most of us, because not unless you have some connections. So kuna ile mtu anakaanga like 2 years before you get a job. So you need to consider also that. Then from 25, that's where you begin your job. Probably you get somewhere you can attach yourself and so on and so on. So at the age of 30, is where most people get somewhere that they can at least get some good money and of course set aside some money for such particular projects. So assuming you're 30 years and you're saying in the next 20 years or in the next 20 years, I want to be living in my own house. I don't want to rent a place anymore. Or in the next 10 years, because it's very much possible, by the way, it just it depends with a lot with the, it depends with the work that you are going to put or the effort that you're going to put towards that particular project. Now, assuming that you are saying by 40 years of age, I want to have built my own mansion, I want to live in my own house. Of course, that is something that you have just said. But again, remember, for you to put that particular mansion, for you to put that mansion, probably just an example, that you have identified a house that you want and the design of the house that you want. And for you to be able to construct that particular house, you have identified that is going to cost you 10 million Kenya shillings. All right. It's going to cost you 10 million Kenya shillings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to raise 10 million Kenya shillings at once? No, you are not going to raise 10 million Kenya shillings at once. You probably have to start as slow as possible. You need to start early. You need to start when you are 30 years to actually construct this particular house. And how do you start? You need to start by putting aside some money to make sure that you have, and not putting money in a bank or in an investment account. No, it is setting aside money and actually buying that particular thing that is required to build that particular house. Why am I saying this? Now, if you listen to me keenly, you are going to understand this. And that's what I want to talk about, cost. Now, when you look at construction of a house or a mansion, you are going to need something we call, number one, a piece of land. Piece of land. Number one, you're going to need a piece of land. Number two, you're going to need labor cost. All right. You're going to need construction materials. You're going to need other costs like architectural costs, and other costs. You are going to need professional designs and so on and so on. Mafundi and so but fundi tunaweza mweka under labor hapo. Now, if you look at all this, sana when it comes to construction of materials and labor, piece of land, you can even be having your own piece of land, but for example, you can be owning a piece of land huko ndani huko Ushago, but again, you want to build somewhere near urban centers. Now, if you look at all this is the cost that you are going to need. And this cost is not that small. It's a huge cost and it's going to take you a lot of effort towards this. Now, let's associate this cost to what we call a time value of money. Time value of money. Now, what do I mean by time value of money? Time value of money is where money loses value or gains value over time. And that one is caused by what we call inflation. Now, remember, inflation is where the prices of commodities or services are going to increase over time. Right now, inflation in Kenya is at around 4%. And I'm making this video on 12th of March 2025. And the inflation is around 4%. Assuming that inflation is going to be 4% then next year, because I have never seen a time whereby inflation goes down. I've always seen a time where the prices of goods and services will always go up. When they go down, it's just for a small period of time and then they go up again. So the probability is that the prices of goods and services will just go up as the economy grows, all right? So let's associate with this cost with the time value of money. It means a piece of land, let me just, I just listen to me carefully. I know someone is already starting to judge me about this because personally I don't have a mansion, so I may not be able to be having a lot of experience about it, but of course I can say something here. A piece of land here may be costing 2.5 million as at now, as at 12th March 2025. A piece of land could be costing 2.5 million. But if you say that you want to build in 10 years to come, you want to construct in 10 years to come, How much do you think the piece of land is going to cost you by then? It could even go up to even 5 million Kenya shillings. Because remember, these are assets that are going to appreciate with time. Land right now that is costing 2.5 million, probably 5 years ago, it was costing around 1.5 million. So you never know. So if you could be having that money, and I normally say, if you could be having that money, whereby you can even get some money somewhere first before you do anything, you buy a piece of land, a desired piece of land where you want to have your home in future, you buy that piece of land and put it somewhere, knowing that this piece of land is where I want to be. I want to build my home. Because why are you doing that? It's just to avoid inflation and paying more money to somewhere that you can, to something that you could have acquired earlier, and actually saving a lot of money towards that particular, because of that particular aspect. All right. Now, that is a piece of land. That is how the inflation works, and how the cost of something is going to appreciate with time. Even when you do want to do something, probably you could budget ya 10 million, and when by the time inafika 10 years to come, unapata hiyo, it's no longer 10 million, it's 15 million. Again, now you think where you're going to get 5 million. So this is the simplest way of doing it. First, look for some money where you can acquire that piece of land and put it there. All right. Because 10 years is not a long period of time. Then secondly, if you're going to, for example, let's say you have a job or a business that is going to give you some money, it's not a must you have a lot of money so that you to acquire materials of construction. It's not a must to be having a lot of money, because first of all, here we are going to focus on, we can focus on what actually takes a lot of money when it comes to construction. That is land and construction materials. Leave alone labor and leave alone architectural costs, because these are one-time costs. But when it comes to construction materials and piece of land, this is what is going to take a lot of money. Now, when it comes to construction materials, now this is where the investment is going to be crazy. Like for example, you need to buy, I don't know, hizo mawe za kujenga, you need to buy cement, you need to buy sand, you need to buy, all those things that you require, so that, and you are going to look for a fundi who is going to approximate. Once you have the design of the house, of course, now you look for fundi who is going to approximate the materials that you need to buy and the cost. And then what do you need to do? If you have a very good job and a very good business that is going to give you some money, you can be saying, at the end of every year, I'll be accumulated some amount of money in an investment account. Then at the end of the year, before that thing, you can even without saying year, you can say quarterly. Because why are you saying quarterly? Because you want to avoid inflation of those particular costs. Because if a bag of cement right now is going to cost 800 Kenya shillings, then you might find at the end of the year a bag of cement is costing 850 Kenya shillings. So if you waited to buy 10 let's say 20 bags of cement, then you could buy 20 with an extra cost of 50, and this one is around 1,000 shillings. You see, you are trying to avoid that cost. So you could say, in each and every month, I will put aside some amount of money. Even if I'm buying 2 bags of cement, that one is enough. All right, that one is enough. Or if I buy like few kilograms of nails, that one is enough. Or I could say, timber is very expensive, because of course you will need timber when it comes to construction. You could say, if I buy a tree and just let it be there, and of course when it comes to time, you can even do the processing and so on and so on. So it's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't do this and wait for you to construct, to buy construction materials after 10 years. That is when you're thinking, oh, I need to buy construction materials. I had bought a piece of land, now let me start. Now that is after 10 years. My friend, that is when you realize the real meaning of inflation and time value of money. And you find a bag of cement that was costing 800 shillings, it's actually costing 1,500 shillings, right? Now, if I remember back then, a bag of cement used to cost even as low as 480 shillings. Right now, a bag of cement is going to up to almost 1,000 shillings. I'm not an expert in construction or real estate, but I know those are the costs. So you can always avoid these construction costs as early as possible. Start when you are 30 years. If you have a very good income or a very good, or the moment you have some good income that is coming in, what should come into your mind, because you have the goal of having a dream house, it should always come to your mind. You don't have to have millions of money. Now, assuming that by the time you are now, after 10 years, now you see that you can start even constructing. Unajua hata kismat huwa ina happen. Probably after 5 years, you might angukia a very good deal and it sorts you out and you even have to construct that house. But now remember, you had bought a piece of land. That one saved you a lot of money. You had bought not few but close to like 3/4 of materials that you need to construct, and then there is a very good deal that has come on your way because of the blessings of the God, because you cannot know about the future. The future remains uncertainty and uncertain. You don't know about the future, and the deals comes, and of course what you have done, and God blesses you, and you are able to build that particular mansion. You never know. So it's always good, and it's always good to start saving. Not even saving, save and buy that particular material. If at all it's possible, you save, buy two bags of cement, put them aside each and every month. Just do that. By the way, if you decide even to buy 2 bags of cement or 5 bags of cement times 800, that one is going to be like 4,000. Now those are 5 bags. If you have 5 bags times 12, that one is 60 bags. Now 60 bags times 10 years, that one is 600 bags of cement. That one has saved you a lot. I don't think a house is going to consume 600 bags of cement. But now depending on the cost that you had calculated with fundi, itafika mahali uone the bags of cement zimetosha. Sasa I don't need to have, probably you even need like 200 bags or 300 bags of cement, and the rest of the money you need to buy other materials. All right, so that is it. That is the first reason why you should start constructing as early as possible. That is cost. And cost, we have associated it with time value of money, how the prices of the construction materials are going to be more over time as compared to now. So what you are saying is that if it's possible for you to start buying those materials as at now, it is good than waiting for after 10 years when the prices of goods and services have gone up. That is when the time you are thinking of buying, then it will cost you more money. And the same with a piece of land. Land right now could be cheaper as compared to the prices of land in 10 years to come. That is, if you have the capability of doing that, you can start doing that. Number 2, that was about the cost. Number 2 is the ease of now moving out of rentals, the ease of paying rent. Let me tell you, no one likes paying rent. Everyone hates paying rent. Landlord, kama unanisikiza, we jua tu hatupendi kulipa rent, but ni ile watu hawana otherwise. And because it's an investment to many, we just need to pay rent, because probably we are living in urban centers and we have to pay rent. But in real sense, if I could be having my own house near Nairobi somewhere where I can travel myself and of course come to work each and every morning, that one is what I could do because we want to save as much money as possible. That amount of money that you pay rent, you could even save it. For example, let me give you a scenario. You are 30 years of age. And you are paying rent of right now, let's say you are living in a 2-bedroom house. You are living in a 2-bedroom house that costs you 20K. And then you decide you are going to live in this 2-bedroom house for 2 years. All right, for 2 years. So this one is going to cost you 20 times 12. That one is how much? That one is 12 times 2, that is 240,000. All right, for 2 years. Now if you multiply this one by 2, this one is 480,000. Now remember, you've just lived in this house paying 20,000, a 2-bedroom house. You have paid 480,000 for 2 years. All right, now you feel that a 2-bedroom house is no longer enough for you, because probably you have kids after after 2 years you have 2 kids, now you feel like you want to expand a little, and then you relocate to a 3-bedroom house, or a 3-bedroom house. You relocate to a 3-bedroom house that is apartment kinda, and then that one is you are at 33 years to 35 years. You live in a 3-bedroom house that you're probably going to pay 30K per month. If you multiply this one by 12, this one is probably going to be 36. Let me just do a direct calculation here. Just multiply this one by 12. 30 times 12. This one is 360K. 360K. Then if 360,000, if you multiply this one by 3 years, this one is going to be 1,080,000. Now, you have lived, you've moved because you felt that you need to expand a little because of course you have a bigger family. Probably you normally expect a lot of visitors and so on. So you want to expand. So you move to a 3-bedroom house that is going to cost you 30,000, and then that is the amount you pay for 3 years. All right, now you get to 35 years to 40 years, and then you feel, nah, my family has become bigger. I have big girls and boys, and now, there is some privacy there. Probably they are fighting. Everybody wants to stay in their rooms and so on. They are that comfortability that they need. And then you get an apartment of 4-bedroom or even 5-bedroom. You get an apartment of 4-bedroom house that you are going to pay probably 50,000, 50K, and then you multiply this one by 12. This one is going to be, I'm just giving a breakdown of how people use this money, and probably this is even the little. Probably there's someone who is paying rental of 60,000. You get me? So this is 50 times 12. You get, this is 600. This is 600,000. If you multiply this one by 5 years, you realize this is how much times 5. This is 3 million. 3 million. All right. Now, if you add this within a span of 10 years, because this one is 10 years, within a span of 10 years, how much money have you paid to the landlord? Now, add all this. That is close to 4.5 million. This is 4,560,000. All right. That is close to 4.5 million. Now, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And probably you are going to find a person who has even paid 10 million Kenya shillings within a span of 10 years. Now, this is where you say enough is enough. You say now, no. If I've paid landlord for 10 years, I've been able to pay almost 10 million or 6 million. Then I could say, instead, I could be paying that landlord money. Then from the age of 41, I don't want to pay any more rent to landlord. I want to live in my own house. So that is how, same way you are paying landlord this 50K, you can get some extra amount and buy a few bags of cement. And then you put a trajectory, or you put that goal that in the next 10 years, when you don't want to pay landlord anymore, now you have like 10 million worth of materials, worth of land and anything. And now you can put up a mansion that you want, and then you do away with rent and so on and so on. Now, if money is not enough by then, you will have a very good credit score that even the bank can give you like a top up of 4 million, where if the design of the house has changed and you feel like you want to do something classical and going to cost you a lot of some money, then you can probably borrow 5 million on top, and you build the house that you want, and it becomes good. And now the only thing that you are left paying is that car mortgage, and 5 million is a small amount of money, and you can even pay with 5 years. By the time you are age of 45, you have already done with that mortgage, and now you are freely living happily with your family in your own mansion with no one disturbing you, and you have no debt to pay. And remember, that is another reason. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just to state the last reason why you should start building and thinking, that one was ease of paying rentals. Now, the third and the last thing is about real estate investment. Probably someone will say, after I've built that particular house, I may not even want to live in it. I might rent it out so that I can get some rentals for some period of time, probably 5 years, and then move my family there, because probably you have some money and you might think that way. Or maybe you want to build another mortgage house, and so on and so on. So here we can also talk about real estate business and so on and so on. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the main three, all right? Sorry, those are the main three reasons that I felt that I should share with you. If you have, by the way, if you have the capability of doing this, don't postpone until it's 10 years time. Now that's when the time you want to come and build your house, to come and do something. No, it's not applicable because of the time value of money. The time value of money. Here is when here is the most important part that you're supposed to think about, the time value of money. Remember, the costs or the prices of goods and services will always increase with time. The probability of the cost of price or the prices of goods and services coming down, it's very low. But the probability of them going up, it's very high. And that one we know, because the economy, of course, when the economy grows, even the prices of goods and services will always go up. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this particular video. If you watched this video up to the end, thank you. I hope you have gained something. And in case you need me to clarify on something or for business purpose, my contacts, my everything is always on the description. You can reach me out. You can text me or WhatsApp at XFinop Accountancy and Insurance Consultancy. For any consultancy that you need, we are going to be able to help you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe and follow and turn on the notification bell so that every time you upload a video, you are the first person to get that particular video. Now, that was my time. See you on the next.